we have our electric bike, we have the chainsaw, we have the guy, all look exactly how they were, and they've been put together in a cohesive image on the beach. You can even see the dang shadows from the tires. You can see the sand on the tires. This is epic. What's up, party people? Welcome to yet another video. Today we are diving deep into Nano Banana 2, Nano Banana Pro, just launched. Let's go check it out. As we know, Nano Banana was already awesome. Now, Google has done it again, introduced Nano Banana Pro on November 20th, 2025. And this is the article. There's a video you can watch. This article essentially talks about how to generate better visuals with Nano Banana Pro. And then they have another article that's 7 tips to get the most out of Nano Banana Pro. So I'll link both of these in the description, and also a tool that I've created that you can use to generate realistic prompts. So I'll put all those links in the description. But for now, let's go check it out. All right, you can do this through the API or the Google interface. If you're in the Gemini interface, what you can do is go to create image, and you can see here, visualize anything with Nano Banana Pro. I'm just going to say try now. And what that does is it changes the image mode to a thinking mode instead of the fast mode, which is how you can use Nano Banana Pro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Higgs Field for some of my images and then do it directly in the Google interface for some of my other images. So to do it in Higgs Field, I'm going to go to image. I'm going to go to Nano Banana Pro. What's cool is you can create 4K images with Nano Banana Pro. So what we're going to do is go back to Gemini, and what I've asked Gemini is to give me 20 different image prompts, each one getting complex for AI image models to create. So we're going to start with some simple ones. This is a simple close-up of a perfectly formed ripe strawberry on a white background in sharp focus. And we're going to do this on Higgs Field. Now, there is a message here that the generation might be a little slow. That's totally fine. I don't mind. We're going to hit generate for 2 credits. And we're also going to do the same thing in Google. So let's go and generate this image in Google. Now I can go back to my Higgs field while this is getting generated and give it the next prompt. So here's our strawberry image. You can see this is in very great detail and really well done. You can see the shadow, white background. Most image models should be able to do this without any issues. Let's do the next one, which is our watercolor painting of a single vibrant yellow sunflower in a field with soft impressionistic background blur. While that's happening, let's go check this out. Also very realistic looking. I'm getting hungry, and you can see the shadow is pretty good right here. You can even see the little shine on the strawberry. Very well done. All right, so this is the watercolor painting of a single sunflower in a field with soft impressionistic background blur. Next, I'm going to skip some of these and go to a more specific one. We want to see how good these image models do with specificity. All right, so we are moving on to some more complex ones. This next one I want to try is the black and white photograph of a person's hand holding a single perfectly balanced antique key between the thumb and the forefinger. So it's done a really good job of making this a black and white image and adhering to the prompt of thumb and forefinger and showing that detail in the key. Okay, for next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of them inside of Gemini using my Gemini credits. And this way we don't have to context switch between Higgs Field and Gemini. And let's continue with our more specific prompts here. So the next one is a vibrant detailed stained glass window panel depicting a soaring eagle with its wings fully spread in Gothic architectural style. That is getting specific. So while that's getting generated, let's look at some of these other ones. Next, let's move on to a macro photograph of a drop of water suspended on a spider's web. I'm sure that's going to be a hard one. But let's look at this stained glass. I'm going to open this in a new tab so we can zoom in a bit more. Okay, that is, again, very detailed stuff. I'm impressed. This is super cool stuff with the new Pro model. Let's continue down the rabbit hole of Nano Banana and see what other images we can get. So I'm going to use this tool I created, and we're going to try product photography. So it automatically adds some stuff here. Sleek wireless headphones floating midair. Perfect. I'm going to do shot type close up aspect ratio. Let's do 9:16. We'll do photorealistic. You can add a custom style in here if you want. And camera, let's keep it eye level. Sure. Lighting preset, let's do golden hour. And text typography, let's do AirPods. You can pick a font style. So let's do bold, centered, and language is English. Perfect. We'll copy this and go paste it into Nano Banana. All right, we have our image back. Great on the text, and it's floating in midair, and it's wireless headphones. Awesome. Now let's test this one, a macro photograph of a drop of water suspended on a spider's web with the reflection of a clear blue sky visible within the drop. And it tells you what is the test we are doing here. So we're testing physics simulation and reflection accuracy, because we have the reflection of a clear blue sky, and the physics part is a drop of water suspended on the spider's web. All right, that looks, again, pretty realistic to me. You can see the reflection in the drop of water that is suspended on the spider's web. The spider's web could potentially be a little bit more realistic, but this is an AI image model. So this is awesome. Now let's move on to some of the more complex reasonings. First, let me copy and paste this, and then we can talk about the prompt. That way we can give it time to generate. One standing on a red ladder that is exactly twice the height of the person painting the top of the teal wall. The perspective is from the ground looking up, tests relative proportion and scale, and an unusual viewing angle. I wouldn't think to even give this prompt to AI, but this is pretty wild. So we have the two people. The ladder is twice the size, height of the person painting the top of the teal wall. I don't know if that's exactly twice the height, but this was very specific. And what's wild is not only did it get the teal color, the ladders, the two people, Nano Banana Pro understands that if this is painting, then there should be some more painting supplies on the floor related to the paint that they're doing. So there's even teal paint pouring out of this bucket right here. How crazy is that? All right, let's keep going. Next, let's do this one. And I have no clue what half of it even means, but let's read it. A Renaissance fresco depicting a modern smartphone being presented to three historically dressed Roman philosophers who look confused. The lighting must be chiaroscuro. I have no clue what that means. Tess, anachronism, and multi-subject consistency in a historical style. That was a mouthful. Let's see how our AI can perform with these crazy prompts. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if this is what the prompt said, because I didn't really understand half the prompt. That are these three people supposed to be inside, like on a wall as a mural, or are they supposed to be real people? But overall, it took the concept and depicted it pretty well. Next, let's go to this one. Full body image of a woman wearing a dress made entirely of woven metallic threads, sitting on a chair made of ice. The image is taken under dramatic studio lighting. So you can see there, this isn't JSON prompts. There's no complex prompting happening here, but Nano Banana is able to give you those complex details with super simple prompts. And that's the beauty of Nano Banana Pro. Let's again open this in a new tab so we can zoom in. We have the metallic dress, ice chair, and I mean, it did it to the T. All right, now we go on to some abstract concepts. So this one is an abstract concept of a photo of a sign with a neon cursive font that reads, "Welcome home." Clearly and without any distortion, the sign is attached to the exterior of a futuristic chrome spacecraft hovering over a desert landscape. So a lot of moving parts here. We have desert, we have a spaceship, we have the written sign, and all of that needs to come together. So while that's happening, what we are also going to try is we are going to put in different ingredients together. So maybe a person and then an object and then a pet, and ask Gemini to combine those. All right, here we go. Neon sign, welcome home, on the spacecraft, attached to the exterior of a futuristic chrome spacecraft. All right, I think it did it. So before we move on with more of these prompts, let's try something simple. I'm going to find 4 different objects and try to put them together using Nano Banana. We are back and I have 3 random objects here, or 2 objects and this person from pixels, this chainsaw, and this electric bike. Let's see what we can cook up with these 3 objects. So my prompt is combine these 3 into a cohesive shot at the beach. Why not? All right, we are back and holy crap, are we cooked? So here's the 3 objects, or 2 objects and the guy. I don't know why I keep calling him an object. You can see that the brand name is spelled correctly, Husqvarna. This one, I'm not sure if the bike brand name was spelled correctly. I close that tab. We have our electric bike. We have the chainsaw. We have the guy. All look exactly how they were, and they've been put together in a cohesive image on the beach. You can even see the dang shadows from the tires. You can see the sand on the tires. This is epic. And let's just keep going. All right, next we are getting into the abstract images. We already did the welcome home one. Now let's do this one right here. Go back to Nano Banana. And this one says AMC Escher style impossible architectural drawing of a staircase that simultaneously descends and ascends with 3 separate small figures walking on it in different directions. So this one tests impossible geometry, and I have no clue what this AMC Escher style is, but let's look at AMC Escher style. All right, so this is kind of like a defying architecture or defying physics kind of image, and you can see this is something similar, right? People are all going in different directions in the same image. I think Nano Banana should be able to create this. Okay, ascending and descending. We have 3 different people going in 3 different directions, but I don't see a staircase that simultaneously ascends and descends. I would say this one was not that great, but it captured the style of AMC Escher. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And then the next one is a book cover. So let's make a book cover. For a fantasy novel titled The Fifth Season, the cover must feature a dragon with iridescent crystalline scales drinking from a river of molten gold, with the title text rendered in an ancient rune-like font, perfectly centered and legible. I want to see what this ancient rune-like fonts look like so I know what I'm kind of looking for. That's pretty cool. And here's our image. So the 5th season, and it's in the rune-like font. The fonts are perfect. And we have our dragon drinking from molten lava from this lava river. And we have the dragon scales as we have previously defined. So this is looking good so far. Right. So for next one, I asked Gemini, give me 5 prompts that would be almost impossible for AI to create, or should be so realistic that someone would be hard pressed to believe that they're not AI. So let's try these. First one is a candid documentary style photograph of a bustling international airport terminal. In the foreground, a family of 4 is looking at a departure board that clearly and legibly displays the following text: flight blah blah blah, Frankfurt delayed. The faces of all 4 members are distinct expressions of tired frustration, and all hands should be perfectly natural. So this is something that AI has struggled with, but I think it's come a long way, so this should not be any issues. All right, here we go. Let's open this in new tab. We have the flight number, delayed, Frankfurt, and at a bustling airport, and all of these guys are clearly frustrated. You can see their hands, you can see their frustration, so I think that's amazing. We'll do all 5 of these because they are varying lengths of difficulty for different subjects. So while that image is being generated, I found this one on Reddit, and the prompt for this one is a late night snap from the car. The first image is Nano Banana normal version, and then the second image is Pro version. So this is the normal Nano Banana version. Already excellent. You can even see the reflection of the phone in the car. And then here's our Nano Banana Pro version. I mean, I think they're both really great. The regular one and the Pro one. This isn't really a selfie photo. This one is, but it didn't say selfie. It just said a late night snap from the car. So we're going to try this. Simple prompt. Let's go back to our tab here. Before we do that, let's check this one out. So this one was a close-up high-resolution photograph of a person's hand delicately assembling a miniature, highly detailed model of a sailing ship. Holy ship. This is pretty cool. You can see the person's hands clearly. This is like a macro photography shot. You can see the sailing ship and you can see the detail on it. This is just wild. All right, let's try simple prompt, a late night snap from the car. Cool. While that's cooking, let's read the next one. A photograph of an open physical newspaper spread across a kitchen table. The lead headline on the newspaper must clearly and accurately read local team wins championship after decades-long drought. The smaller article text below the headline should be legible, realistic and relevant, not just gibberish. On the table next to the newspaper, there's a half-empty coffee mug and a pair of reading glasses, both casting accurate shadows. Let's see how that comes out. And while we wait for that, here's our late night snap from the car. Just looks real. It's late night, 2:43 a.m. From the car. I didn't specify what kind of car, so just picked any car, and it looks like a late night image and not from a very nice camera. All right, so the next one is being generated. Perfect. Let's look at this one. Local team wins championship after decades long drought. And then the rest of it should also be clear. So broke a 40-year curse, blah, blah, blah. And you can see this is all legible, not just gibberish. And then we have our coffee cup, we have our glasses. Both are casting very realistic shadows. Now, obviously, the newspaper doesn't look like a newspaper, so you could give it a screenshot of an actual newspaper and ask it to mimic that. Let's do a few more before we wrap up. So for this one, we're going to try a candid street photograph taken from waist height, looking up at a person in their mid-20s. Now, while that's being generated, there are a couple of other places you can access Nano Banana 2. First is fal.ai. You will see a big banner right here. Nano Banana 2 is now live. In FAL, it's going to cost you 15 cents per image. Keep that in mind. And the next one is on Higgs Field. And you can see that Higgs Field is currently running a 3-day Black Friday sale. For the Black Friday sale, these are the plans you can choose. I'm on their ultimate plan, which is $49 a month. So you can choose any one of these plans, which are currently 65% off. And they also have the Nano Banana Pro model inside their interface. All right, here's our next image. This was a very detailed prompt. And again, I think Nano Banana aced it. Someone showing a expressive, shocked reaction. Now let's do our last one, and then I have something fun to try because this is something Nano Banana has just failed me, which is recreating my own image for different YouTube thumbnails. I don't know if it's because I am bald or what it is about my face, but AI cannot get it right. I can upload many images of me, and when I ask it to recreate that for a YouTube thumbnail, or what have you, maybe a LinkedIn headshot, it doesn't do justice to my facial features. So we're going to try that next. But before we do, this last one was a professional product photograph of a complex electronic device. Every button, dial, and port on the device must be perfectly rendered with accurate textures, reflections, and labels. On the screen of the device, there must be a clear, crisp, and realistic user interface display. And that is very accurate. Micro SD, HDMI, USB-C. You can see the buttons, return, etc. I mean, this is as crystal clear as it gets with AI rendering this within seconds. This is just wild. All right, let's go see if Nano Banana Pro can do a good job on not making me look like a creep. So I'm going to again go to create image. We are going to go to the Pro model, and let's just say, let's try me as a superhero. But first, before I do that, I need to add my image. All right, so my prompt is first ask me to upload a selfie and then generate the images based on the selfie. I'm going to upload 2 images, which is this one right here and this one right here. You can see those both clearly have my facial expressions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot them and then put them in here because they are in a different format and I want them in PNG. So I'm adding 2 images. I'll also add a third one to show my side profile. So we have 3 total images, and let's see what happens with me as a superhero. So far, Nano Banana has hit it out of the park. So I do have high hopes from Nano Banana that this will work. After this, we'll do a couple of infographics and then we'll wrap it up with my thoughts. Okay, that one actually not too bad. I would say definitely not too bad, especially if we compare it to this one here. You can see my facial expressions clearly and it does look like me. So kudos to Nano Banana. So now let's try an infographic using Nano Banana. For that, let's go to this website. I like this website. It's called Our World in Data. And let's just copy this article and ask Nano Banana to convert this into a infographic. My prompt is convert the below to an infographic, and I have given it that entire article that I took from Our World in Data. Let's see how it does. While it's doing that, I also have an idea to go to Cornell University and find a scientific paper and see if we can convert that scientific paper into something of a visual representation using Nano Banana. So here's a scientific paper I found. Absolutely zero clue what that means, but we don't need to know that. We just need to download it. Go to Nano Banana. So first, let's look at this infographic that it created. Evolution of anxiety treatments, a 70-year-old journey, US focus. All right, so we have the text, the revolution, the age of antidepressants, the slowdown and new frontier, and looks like the text is pretty good. Fast acting, minutes to hours, Xanax, Valium. Then we have slowdown innovation, 2000 to present, 2004 to present, incremental changes. Dang, this is really good. Now I'm going to see how it does with the scientific paper. So I've attached the PDF. I'm going to say convert this into an infographic. Now you can also do this for character consistency. You can do this for children's storybooks. You can do this for redesigning your home. I mean, it's limitless on what you can do with this tool. So let's see how our final infographic comes out. All right. And took a few seconds, maybe 45 seconds. And here we have our infographic again, explaining everything, but explaining it in an infographic manner. Now, what I can say is redo it and explain it in a simple format. And there you have it, folks. That is the beauty of Nano Banana. I mentioned some links, including my tool that I use to generate AI image prompts. I will link all of those in the description. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And until next time, keep prompting.